quite literally, the obvious connection is that we've had kind of a chaotic day.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we don't tend to eat a lot of food like this around the house, we don't keep it around the Covenstead often. Some days you just have to cave in.
Some days you do.
So, in addition to the things that sit here on our table altar that we kind of move and groove with every day, we also have added.
So
Here, have a brown M&M.
Can we be heard and seen by the masses acceptably well?
I don't know. Jennifer's here. She got a new tattoo. Well, she had an old tattoo reworked. She got rid of a name.
Oh. Kind of an unweaving?
Kind of an unweaving. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
That which no longer serves.
Angela Turley's here. She has been MIA for a few.
How's your grandson? How's he doing? We've been thinking about you and praying and lighting candles, but haven't wanted to bug you personally. But I hope you know that we're always here if you need us. Right, Grymm?
Yes, always.
Absolutely.
And are we getting answers about being heard? Loud and clear.
Yeah.
We got a loud and clear. Woohoo.
Terry's here, and Jennifer. I already said hi to Jennifer and Angela. Stephanie Carter is here. Cheryl Vandenberg. Yay, Cheryl.
Whoop.
Sarah Mara. We just finished off the soup tonight. You didn't get any.
I didn't get any.
He who hesitates is lost, we found out at the Covenstead.
Yes. I was busy setting up our new equipment.
So Grymm got a couple of new cameras in the mail.
Yes. Did you notice that we were essentially able to just plug and play tonight?
Is that because of these new cameras?
It's the new cameras. I don't have to have auxiliary microphones set up and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other.
I noticed neither one of them are making me look any slimmer.
But they do enhance how beautiful you are in real life.
In the fisheye lens.
Yes, you get a little clear. Remember last night when I was setting up the camera for the first time, when we first got it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell a ghost story. And I turned the camera on and HD, 4D, K, blah, blah, whatever. That was this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, it scared me.
Welcome to the timey-wimey land.
Yeah, the chaos of the timey-wimey.
The chaos of the timey-wimey land. So are you finding yourselves today feeling a little bit in the midst of chaos? It's not like it's major, flowing every which way like the tornado from Wizard of Oz, but it certainly does feel a bit imbalanced and improper in some ways. Almost like, I don't know, you might find yourself eating more than usual because it's like you're looking for something to satisfy, but nothing's really hitting the mark.
Yeah.
It's that comfort food zone. So many of us experience that. But I know that this is all just in prep for what's coming next. Shelley, by the way, is Shelley on here with us?
I don't know. I see Stephanie Carter.
Yes.
Vicky's here. You want me to scroll up?
Yeah, Victoria's here. No, Vicky Meyer is here. Mm-hmm. Hey, Vicky Meyer, how you doing? You don't know her.
Cheryl Vandenberg, though, we know her.
Yes, you do. I've already been through these.
Oh, well, you were looking for somebody else's name.
I was? I don't know what I was looking for.
Okay.
I was just going to tell you that, oh, God knows. It's been that kind of a day since we woke up. I had a list of things that I wanted to accomplish today that I formulated before I went to sleep last night. And I am happy to report that the Alice Hoffman Instagram page, which I had on my list from 2 days ago, I still haven't done it, but at least I'm closer to getting it done than I was 2 days ago. It's just that 2 days ago, I thought I would get it done. And now it's 2 days later, and Grymm thought this morning was yesterday.
Yes, but I got to say, I have to laugh about something. When we were on our walk this evening, I was thinking about our list of things that we put into your phone last night as you were falling asleep. It was, okay, Google, remind me to.
Okay, Google, remember.
Okay, good. We just turned OK Google on. But we
Thanks,
even
Google.
set a
Cancel.
reminder for 2 o'clock to remind us of our reminders.
Here are some things you can do when your phone's offline.
Thanks, Google.
We even set a reminder
We set a
to
reminder
remind
for
us.
our reminders, and then we forget.
But that's the chaos that's going on right now, isn't it? We've got planets in and out of retrograde.
Yes, we do.
Astrologically speaking, we've got a lot of things going on. We're going into this age of Aquarius, which is not a smooth transition. We're going to
No.
be hitting ripples and waves there too. So
No, and make no mistake. For every light worker, good witch, magic worker out there that you're familiar with, that are taking this time, like we're talking about, open your shadow boxes, heal those wounds, you know, embrace your past and learn who your ancestors are, and for every
all
one
that
of
stuff
us,
that we've been talking about.
right? For all of the goody two shoes stuff that we do, there is an equal match for everything working in the opposite direction. There are people out there right now that are capitalizing on the frustration and the disambiguation of our culture at the moment, and they're waiting for just this is the kind of power that they seek. They seek this kind of stirring up power, and like they love. Now, I'm not saying I'm a storm witch too. I'm an air sign. I'm a storm witch. So a whole bunch of you don't have to say I'm a storm witch too. I did blah blah blah. That's not. I'm not talking that kind of chaos, and I'm not talking storm. I'm talking people who focus their intention on causing misdirection and disintegration on purpose because that's their goal. So that's what I'm talking about, is for every cauldron stirring that we are, churning in Caradwin's direction, there is an equal and opposite reaction, someone else out there just undoing what we're trying to do. So it's in constant display and motion right now. And that's why your words and your thoughts are ever so important, to try to keep yourself in a steady and at least happy or emotionally stable day. When we let our emotions run away with us, run amok with us, and we're in constant, just constant inner chaos, the outer chaos tries to match, and it just ends up imploding on us, doesn't it? But when we can take the time to truly embrace, yes, not everything is going perfectly today. I don't feel as well today as I did yesterday, but that doesn't mean tomorrow I'm not going to just have a fantastic day. So today is what it is. Let's look at the positives and let's move forward through the positives that we have.
We also have to accept, though, that if we have chaos going on in our lives, that we are contributing to that chaos.
Absolutely.
So, saying it is what it is, and today is what it is, and tomorrow will be different. It's only going to be different if we approach it from that mindset that you were talking about yesterday, A plus B equals C.
Right. So this has been a reoccurring theme a lot around here as of this week, is the whole concept about if you are used to doing A plus B equals C, A plus B equals C, A plus B equals C, even though you don't like C, maybe C is boring. Maybe you have done C for 35 years and you don't want to C anymore. You're ready to move on to D, E, or F for sure, or maybe even J. But you've had enough of A plus B equals C for far too long, okay? So you just got to switch it up a bit. You have to either change A or B to get a different outcome. Now, usually when you're talking to another person, I can't change him. No amount of trying am I going to change him.
I'm the B. I'm B.
So the only thing I really can affect change is with my own letter A. And there was a good example of it tonight, kind of a silly example. It's one of those moments when you realize that you've done the same thing over and over so many times that if you do it one more time just this way, it's verging on insanity. Grymm and I did our unwinding walk like we have done so many times. It's the first unwinding walk I've personally taken since my heart attack in November. So, and a lot of you know I've been churning over that November date a lot for some reason. It's been coming up in my head. But so it was good for me today to get out and do that walk with you, Grymm. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Right at dusk, and we did a lot of unweaving. But I got to the top of the hill and I noticed my brain kicked in. Now, what you don't know is at the top of the hill behind our house, there are, is it 2 or 3 houses that sport those little lending libraries in their front yard, like a neighborhood
3 of them down
lending.
the block.
Yeah, and it's our block doesn't have that many houses on it, so the fact that there are 3 right in a row is quite remarkable. And Mist and I talk all the time about going through our books and taking those books up there and, turning them in and maybe getting 1 or 2 other ones to read and bring home and kind of keep them in circulation. Well, I went around the block with you and went up to the top of the hill and I started thinking about, well, and I said to Grymm, I was going to say to Grymm, do you think if I put a box at the bottom of the stairs, you could start sorting through some of those books you don't want? I mean, like Tom Clancy or, any of those old Stephen King novels that we have triplicates of, or, I was going to say this. And
That's
then
what's going on in your head?
that's what's going on in my head. And then I thought, because then I can put those in the car or wheel them up here somehow and put them in these lending libraries. That'd be a nice little walk for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Until I stopped, and before I said that to Grymm, I realized I've been having that same conversation with myself in one form or fashion for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
About going to those lending libraries, sorting through the books, culling things down, getting rid of the things that no longer serve us. Grymm and I are really good about doing that spiritually, but we're not really good about doing that with the material thing. But just...
There's certain things, I would say this is the case with a lot of people.
Okay.
When I look around our home, there's things that I could easily say, yep, that can go, that can go, that can go. But then there's items in our home that are wrapped up in memories. The keepsakes. Well, no, those can't go. We're definitely going to keep those. And then we get into like my books. My books are part of me in a way. And I'm sure a lot of people are that way about not maybe their book collection, but their spoon collection or their teacup collection or whatnot. It's that intrinsic thing that you don't want to get rid of.
Yeah, but I'm talking more like, and this is live here action, right? We're problem solving as you're sitting here with us.
Okay.
Because I'm talking about, let's say we have made a decision that this item needs to move on into the great nether region of the world where all things that no longer serve us go.
Right.
So it'll make its way to by the back door.
Ready to go to the vehicle to go off to Goodwill.
And then sometimes it goes out in the backyard. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it gets pulled away from the backyard and like somehow the dog has decided that it's a toy. And now it's shredded all over the yard. And now it's like things just don't, we make a decision to move them and then they just don't always move.
I think that is frustrating. I find that to be...
It's a bottleneck on the out.
Right. And I think for me, what I see
constipated.
I think what I see happening a lot of times is we get it to, let's say we make it as far as getting it to the car. We get the car loaded up with a couple of boxes or bags or whatnot that we're going to drop off at Goodwill. But before we can actually make it to Goodwill, suddenly we have a load to take to the dump, or we've got somebody needing the vehicle to use. So we take the stuff that's going off to Goodwill and set it by the back porch.
We do?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Set it by the back.
He's the dump run guy.
Set it by the back porch, intending to put it back in the car for another trip. And then that's where it gets lost at. It doesn't make it back into the car or make it back into the house. It just...
We got to do lots of healing on this one.
Hey. This isn't supposed to be
You don't want me to pet your little hairs up
No.
there, but you're doing so good growing them out.
It's my head.
chaos.
Well, you were
It's
asking a
been one of those
question.
days today.
You
How's
were
it been at your place?
you were asking a question about what we could do differently, and I have to identify the problem first, not open up a shadow box where I'm dealing with something. It's a matter of I know where my hiccup is
Okay.
in that situation. I don't know how to cure that hiccup. But then
Emotional hoarding.
when it comes emotional hoarding, yeah.
But I don't emotionally hoard. I so I wanna tackle that one for a minute.
Mhm.
And I'm not afraid to open a black box in front of all of our family and friends. Here I go. Wish me luck.
Jump in.
So there have been times in my life that I have been forced to learn to adjust to not having anything. And the things that were ever so important in my life, the things that maybe I inherited from my parents, or things that I thought were special that were gifted to me from a former lover or whatnot, those things I packed around with me for quite a while. Um, and I came to realize that that's really all that they are. They're just things. It's not it's not like, I mean, they might not be 100% replaceable, but a lot of things are.
Hmm.
Like, I know tonight we also talked about my first ever tarot card deck. Was one of those things that was removed from my possession at one point. And I often wonder who owns that deck now, or where it sits, or what has happened to it.
Hmm.
But the thing is those things needed to move on. Those things needed to move on. And I even though I would love to hold the deck another 5 minutes at some
Hmm.
point or whatever, really the memory lies in here, and it's not the things around us that matter so much. But but and I've gone through that cycle
Hmm.
several times now
Right.
of, but this time around, the things that I hold dear, this time I don't want them to just be sold at a garage sale or gifted to someone because,
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because we have parsed it down to the items that truly are emotionally attached to us in some way, haven't we?
well, a lot of, not everything, but a lot of the
Hmm.
things. Um, and it's not that I can't go into you know, this next era of my life without these things, but I would much rather have them. But what I'm talking about from a spiritual constipation point
Hmm.
is why when we get to the point where we're ready to get rid of something, does it not fully leave us? It still stays.
Like the bag of stuffed animals.
Like the bag of stuffed animals.
Laziness,
Well,
motivation.
we decided yesterday that we are going to stop making excuses for things.
Hmm.
And everyone that was here at the Covenstead yesterday got a little bit of a talking to about that, and we all basically nodded our heads in agreement that we can continue doing just what we're doing and just getting by, or we can expect a little more of ourselves
Hmm.
and stop making excuses why things aren't happening and pointing the finger at someone else. Um, so today when I went on my walk with Grymm and I went up the hill and I almost opened my mouth about, we really should sort through those books and bring the ones we don't want down here to these lending libraries. And I stopped myself. I thought, if I say this one more time, I've completely lost my mind.
Because
It's
that's
been
A
over a
again.
year that I've done the same thing, and nothing's changed. Not a book has gone down there. Not a book in a box to go anywhere
Hmm.
except piling on the back of,
They're in the laundry room.
yeah, over by all that stuff that we want to get rid of.
Yep.
We've got a bottleneck, and I'm like, gotta get the energy moving. Somehow we gotta get the energy moving,
And that ties into what we were talking about yesterday during our live stream is movement.
right?
Nothing happens without movement. There needs to be an energy.
Right. That's what magic is, right?
Yep.
Action plus intention.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So when you ask what but bottlenecks us though. So okay, we're not going to make excuses anymore. We see the pile in the laundry room that's been stacked up to the ceiling in that one corner of books and boxes and gizmos and gadgets that are all destined for Goodwill. Where's the bottleneck? How do we get past the making excuses and get it to Goodwill?
I think we need to probably tackle it like a project management thing. The next time we have a house meeting, a coven meeting, we just somebody gets assigned that task or volunteers to make sure that that's done.
Mhm.
I know that doesn't always work well around here, though.
Well, a lot of it is we get distracted by our own distractions.
We do.
We get distracted by our own chaos.
We do.
And then we get into excusing the chaos. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
that toilet bowl of swirly crap comes from that you end
Mm-hmm.
up finding yourself in, is excusing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowing it to happen because somebody else is not, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the funny part is, especially living with a community of people,
Mm-hmm.
and our community is not big right now. Our Covenstead is at a small number.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed that sometimes we all get this like butthurt attitude that we're doing more than the others are. And really, in all honesty, if you looked around the place and if we were all doing as much as we'd like to think we were, house wouldn't be such a mess and an issue.
There wouldn't be so much chaos.
Mm-mm.
It's not so much mess, it's chaos.
Right. It is. And there's always chaos. And you know what? We're the kind of people that thrive in chaos. I don't like to have like my studios over there, like my books and things. I like to know I have piles in my library and I know which books that are in those piles because they're kind of categorized.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the shelving thing and I just,
It's
even though
controlled chaos.
it's controlled chaos. Yes, it really truly is.
Mm-hmm.
And our desk over there with our pendulums and whatnot, that's controlled chaos. I know where to look through the mess. I know where to land my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But when we've got, 6 people floating in and moving things around and not putting them away all the time, it is utterly
Well, that's movement,
insane.
though. That's movement.
Yes, but I think to function as a society, like everybody needs to know, at least know where the bathroom keys are, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have bathroom keys, but we might someday. You never know. It's nice to know where they're kept and hung. So if you have to use the bathroom, you know where to find the keys.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the person that doesn't tend to put them away after using it, you tend to lie them down or put them on the table and say, I'll
Right.
come back when I get my coffee. I'm going to come back and then I'll put those keys up. Come back, get your coffee, space it out, forget all about it, don't put the keys back. And suddenly,
I'm at the bathroom door going,
Right.
where's the keys?
so I think it's also a matter of being mindful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing that a lot of us are struggling with.
Mindful movement.
Like being in the moment and mindful of what you're doing, so that if you're borrowing the bathroom key, you're also putting it back when you're finished. But that's what life's about, right? Like finding a task, setting a goal, seeing it through, and moving on from there.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we're being tasked with the idea of looking back through your old passions. Really looking back through those old passions. And we're not talking the ones that like you had an idea of this ice cream store in the late 90s that really would have probably taken off in your little town. Not that kind of a passion. I'm talking the kind that used to drive you when you were in high school, in your 20s. Hell, maybe if you're lucky, maybe you even did it for a while as a career or a little bit into your 30s and then you probably got promoted or some kind of an offer and a lot more responsibility laid on your shoulders. And before you know it, you're no longer enjoying what it was that you enjoyed so much in the first place, and the passion is gone. And you find yourself 25, 35 years later down the road looking at a pile of fabric, a bunch of scissors, a lot of thread, a lot of dreams, and no place to go with it. Maybe it's time to recreate something. I don't know who I'm talking to out there, but I
I
can
was going to
feel
say
I can feel a strong connection with someone who very much likes to
likes the idea of sewing.
work with their hands, sewing things, making beautiful things. I see. What I keep seeing is I can't even say it. Elizabethan collar,
Hmm.
handcrafted by someone, and I'm like amazed at it because it's amazing. Um,
But right now it's deconstructed in piles of when I get around to it.
old dreams, former dreams, and yeah, interesting. I always like those
Because when you were
images.
talking about, you got the piles of fabric and you got the scissors, and I'm like, wait, that's not, we don't, what?
We don't have piles of
If you
fabric.
were, okay, I see a bunch of paper. I
That's the
see,
alchemy station
yeah,
over
the
there.
alchemy. Okay. Well, so you think that you were channeling something there?
I think I was hearing something from
That's
someone.
cool. I like that. I'm going to go on a quest for something really quick. Our
Okay.
pen seems to be missing.
Okay.
But I thought Victoria, I think I saw was here.
Yes, and I brought a pendulum out from our web shop. This one does not have a goddess name either, so if anyone is inspired, it is the one of the sister pendulums to the pendulum that Tammy Colette received up in Canada. Not identical, but similar. It has a rose quartz tip down here. It has the chakra collars, glass beads. And then on the balance, it has the Tree of Life. So quite lovely. This is one of my favorite ones. It has a nice, heavy, dense feeling to it. So that when I work with this one, and let me see how she does here. A lot of people accuse folks that use pendulum, that somehow I am able to focus it with my mind to tell it to say yes or no. Now, I'll tell you that may be possibly true. It's telling me no. But I've never really tried to sneak one on the pendulum, if you will, sneak one past the pendulum. I just use the pendulum to work with its pure, sweet energy. There's not a lot involved here. And the biggest thing is to trust the yes and no. Someone asked me yesterday about setting up a pendulum board that would be, typically in a circle with a yes or no direction and perhaps letters around the outside. I don't use my pendulum that way. I don't use pendulum for scrying or any kind of divination like I would a Ouija or something like that, which is essentially what you're doing when you set up a pendulum board. I use it for simple yes and no questions. And it's been a surefire tool through most of my witchcraft and wizardry through the years. So this one is called Divine Focus. Anybody have a name that is coming up at all? Victoria is thinking about buying this one. Giving her a home. She really likes the other one, though. She really likes the Celtic one. She really likes this one, too. Okay, I'm going to put her down for a minute and wait till Grymm's back so he can help me read some of these questions. But I will tell you this. I am putting together a class on pendulum work. It's going to be a very short, small class. You'll be able to complete the class in 1 week. I am going to make it free to the first 10 people that contact me about it. And some of the spaces have already been filled, I'll be honest. But if you're interested in taking a pendulum class from me, kind of learning the way that I use the pendulum, let me know. Send me a text message or send Grymm a text message or Susan Borkowski. She's my right-hand man on that project. So if you are interested, let me know. Grymm, where are you? I'm waiting for you, my friend. Oh, that's right. You went searching for weed, didn't you? Can you read any of these? Do I have any yes or no questions for the pendulum and Victoria in particular?
Scratched Up says pendulum name Bethany. Jennifer Ann says I love it too. Dharma. Jennifer Ann says, is it for me? Crystal Walling, beautiful. That rose quartz from Victoria Ainsworth. Oh wow, it's so lovely from Victoria. You guys are lagging. Get those kiddos to pull some weight from Victoria. That's what she's saying to Stephanie Carter about being the maid in her house and can't keep up.
Oh, yeah. She does need to.
So you're going to give people an opportunity to ask yes or no questions of the pendulum?
I can do that. I mean, why not? It's been a chaotic day, a chaotic but good day. I think we all can agree on that. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
We're eating M&Ms. I was going to do a visualization with you tonight to get us involved in some breath work and like clearing of our energy. But I think what we should do tonight is just chill, have some M&Ms, acknowledge that there's chaos at hand, and
Don't mind if I do.
And do a couple yes and no questions, and then maybe call it a night. What do you say?
Okay. I'm down with that.
All right.
Well, I'm waiting for some yes or no questions. I heard you kind of explaining how the pendulum basics work there and that you're going to do a class.
Mm-hmm. I am. I'll let you know when I don't know when it's going to be yet, but it's soon. And several of the components of it are video, so you can watch that at your leisure. And then we'll have like a Q&A session with me live, and it'll be fun.
While we're waiting for some questions, Susan Burkowski says, I know I have shadow box regarding having things piled up here and there on the floor and etc. It was my way of trying to block my mother from getting to me to hurt me. Also, she would not throw things out and didn't let me get rid of my own stuff. I had to sneak it out, and God forbid she caught me, but I have been doing much better since she passed almost 5 years ago.
You know, that's a blessing and a curse, isn't it? And I know